Socialism. Boo! Do we really want to become like Sweden, where thanks to their social safety net creating a healthier population for the past 3 generations, all the women there are now statuesque 6-foot blonde bombshell? Do we really want that? How does it feel to know that there's an entire nation of women who are entirely out of your league? We don't need to make your chances of getting a date any worse. I'm just kidding, you'll never get a date. Socialism. Boo! Hi there, I'm the punk Patriot, and I'm feeling a little sick. Probably have swine flu. Not that I'd know. I haven't seen a doctor for 5 years. I can't afford it. Physical illness aside, I'm sick of trying to figure out who my enemies are. I never thought I'd say this, but I really miss George Bush. It was a simpler time back then. It was easy to know who our enemies were. After a catastrophic tragedy, we found ourselves united as a nation against a common enemy. Our enemy stood against everything that was good and pure. People who stood for the opposite of everything we stood for. It was clear who our enemies were back then. They hated freedom, and we had truth and justice on our side. Talking, of course, about the common enemy of the George W. Bush administration, and the catastrophic tragedy that was his administration's legacy. I mean, we couldn't get a better fall guy. It was so easy to hate him. We didn't even have to think hard. If he was for it, we was against it. And it was really easy to tell when the Democratic leadership was trying to screw us over, because when they were supporting the same bullshit that he was, we knew. Legal wiretapping, torture, extreme rendition, handing over the reins of government to private corporate control. We could tell when they were fucking us. There was nobody worse than that guy. It almost makes me nostalgic. Nowadays, the world is a much more complex and nuanced place. It's hard to tell who our enemies in Congress are, because a lot of them are telling us exactly what we want to hear, and then doing the opposite. Now we have to pay close attention to what they're doing up on the Hill, and we have to actually pay close attention to the content of the bills they're passing. For instance, the Democrats recently released a bill on healthcare. The Democrats are committed Democrats are committed to healthcare reform, universal access. That's a good thing, right? Wrong. I read over the plan on the government's website, and it seems to me to be a giant heap of corporate welfare. Health insurance companies are backing this bill because it's going to give them massive federal subsidies and mandate that everybody has to purchase a plan. Let me repeat that. It's going to mandate that everybody purchase a private insurance plan. Wait, what? I'm being forced by law to buy health insurance? I can't fucking afford to buy health insurance. That's the fucking point. People on the Hill have once again proven that they live in a universe completely devoid of logic. Forcing me to buy a plan isn't going to make it any more affordable. What's the real plan then? If you can't afford to buy private health insurance, then you go to jail? Is that when you get your health care? For free? In prison? This is a terrible bill, and not for the reason that the Republicans are complaining about. They're whining about socialized health care and corporate welfare as if it's the end of the world. But they don't believe that for a minute. When they were in power, they socialized private militias, the Wall Street banks, the KBRs, Blackwaters, Halliburtons of the world, and they want to pass a bill that favors the health insurance companies just as much as the Democrats do. Neither side's leadership supports universal single-payer health care. When shitty bills like the ones that the Democrats just came up with come out of Congress, it's really easy to play on the fears of socialized medicine. Socialism, boo! This massive, broken, public-private partnership, in addition to being alliterative, is also nothing but corporate welfare. Moreover, it's extremely expensive. It'll cost upwards of $1 trillion a year according to the government's own figures. No wonder that people on the right wing of things get the wrong idea about socialism. All we ever get from the Democrats is corporate welfare, not actual socialism. We already have a plan for actual socialized health insurance. HR 676. HR 676 would provide a universal single-payer healthcare system like what they have in England or Sweden, where you don't have to pay monthly premiums, you don't have to pay deductibles, you don't have to pay co-pays. You just go to the fucking doctor and it's covered. Sounds crazy, right? Guess what? This is gonna sound even crazier. The universal single-payer healthcare system is less expensive than the current private healthcare system that we have right now. Did you know that the CEO of Kaiser Medical Group got 1 out of every $7 spent in medical care in the past year? 1 out of every $7 spent on medical care in the past year went to one person. It went directly into this douchebag's account without paying for 1 test, without paying for 1 pill, without paying for 1 visit to the doctor, without paying for 1 prescription. It just went straight into the dude's wallet. How do I know for sure that this money never went to medical care? Health insurance companies don't make money when you go to see the doctor. They lose money when you go to see the doctor. They're the ones who pay for your medical care. Whatever they make in profits is whatever they're skimming off the top of your monthly payments. Any money that Kaiser's paying its executive board is money that's coming directly out of your monthly payments and going directly into their bank accounts, without touching the hands of any doctor on the way there. Congress isn't mobilizing around HR 676 because we have been ignorant and lazy. Let's stop being lazy citizens. We need to organize our communities, we need to call our representatives, and don't just call them once and think your job is done. They keep a tally every day. Call every day saying that you're in support of HR 676 and hope that they are too. That's called lobbying. The number for the Congressional Switchboard is 202-224-3121. Just call it and ask for your representative or senator's office. If you don't know who represents you in Congress, you can find out by going to congress.org and entering your zip code into their search database. I suggest once you find out who your senators and representatives are, that you take their Washington, D.C. office phone numbers and put them in your cell phone on speed dial. I have. Whenever I see a news story about something that Congress is doing, and I feel really strongly one way or the other, I make sure to give them all a call and let them know exactly how I think they should act. Like I said before, they keep a tally of how many phone calls they get per day on an issue, and on what subjects. So call them every day and ask them to support HR 676, and to reject any corporate turds that they belch up. Maybe you want to use nicer language than that. Now, you might feel timid or awkward if this is your first time calling. First time is always a little awkward. And you might not be very good at it your first time. Hi, I'm Congresswoman Shelley Pingree. You are. You're not? Oh, you're just an intern. Well, I was just wondering if she would support HR 676 with me? Nobody's a Casanova the first time. Besides that, the initial awkward feeling will pass. Soon you'll find that you really enjoy it, and you'll want to do it all the time. Passing HR 676, or a plan like it, would be political progress on the scale of giving women the right to vote. We can do this. In the words of Cesar Chavez, organize, organize, organize. Speaking of organizing, there's a petition in support of universal single-payer healthcare on Bernie Sanders' webpage. sanders.senate.gov. Now I have in my intro and outro, to life, liberty, and pursuit of a less fucked up government. We've been given not just the gift, but the responsibility of self-governance. If we mobilize on the issues that we care about, on the issues that affect us, and we actually follow through, instead of just voting and then sitting back and waiting for stuff to happen and hoping for the best, we could actually get shit done. This is the Punk Patriot, once again asking you to hack the government.